You know when you're talking to an AI, have you ever wondered what's really going on behind the screen? Well, there's kind of this hidden meter running in the background counting everything. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what that is and why it really matters.
You know that feeling, right? You're deep into a great conversation with a chatbot, and then bam, you hit a message limit. Or maybe you've glanced at the pricing for an AI tool and thought, why on earth do they bill like that? It feels kind of random and, honestly, a little frustrating.
Well, believe it or not, the secret behind all of that weirdness, it all boils down to one single simple concept. Tokens. You can think of them as the official currency of the AI world. Everything an AI does, from listening to you to talking back, gets paid for in tokens.
Okay, so what exactly is a token? Simply put, it's just a chunk of text. It might be a whole word, like happy, or just a piece of a word, like ing. Even a comma or a question mark is a token. These are the fundamental building blocks AIs use to understand us and to piece together their own sentences.
Here's the absolute best way to picture it. Imagine you're playing Scrabble, but instead of tiles with single letters, you've got these awesome, super-powered tiles with common chunks of words on them. That's pretty much how an AI sees language. So, to build a word like unbelievable, the AI doesn't spell it out letter by letter. No way. It just grabs a token for un, another one for believe, and a third for able, and just snaps them together like Legos. It's just a much faster way to build words.
And this right here, this is the most important thing to get your head around. If you remember just one thing from all this, make it this one. Tokens are not the same as words. You can't just do a word count and call it a day. It doesn't work like that.
Let me show you a perfect example. A simple word like ChatGPT. That's one word, and it's also one token. Easy enough? But then you take a monster of a word, like anti-disestablishmentarianism. That's still just one single word, but to an AI, it's 5 different tokens that it has to stitch together. See the difference?
And get this, it's not just about complicated words. Even your emojis have a cost. That little waving hand you just sent in a text? To the AI, that's at least 2 tokens. It all gets tallied up on that invisible meter.
So you're probably thinking, okay, if I can't count words, how am I supposed to estimate this? Well, luckily, there's a pretty handy rule of thumb, at least for English. On average, you can figure it's about 1.3 tokens for every single word. It's a good little multiplier to keep in your back pocket.
So let's see how that plays out. Imagine you ask an AI to summarize a 500-word article. You're thinking, that's 500 units of stuff for it to work with. But with our rule of thumb, the AI is actually processing something closer to 650 tokens.
All right, so we get what tokens are, but why does this actually matter to you? Well, it turns out they affect pretty much everything, from what you pay for AI services to why they sometimes seem to totally forget what you were talking about. First up, let's talk about the money. Whenever a company charges you for using their AI, they are running a token meter. First, what you type in, your prompt, gets converted into tokens and counted. Then, the AI's answer is generated as tokens and counted. And yep, you guessed it, you get billed for the grand total of both. Tokens also explain that other really common experience when you're having a long chat and the AI just gets the amnesia. It's not actually broken or forgetful. It's literally running out of room for new tokens. See, every AI model has what's called a context window, which is just a fancy term for its short-term memory. And that memory is measured in, you guessed it, tokens. So if an AI can only remember, say, 4,000 tokens at a time, a really long back-and-forth conversation can easily fill that up. Once it's full, the AI has to start dropping the beginning of your chat just to make room for what you're saying now. So look, this isn't just some random tech trivia. Understanding how tokens work is like getting a user manual for AI. It's a superpower that lets you use these tools so much more effectively.
I mean, once you get it, you can write sharper, more efficient prompts. You can actually save some money on paid AI services. You can finally stop hitting those annoying message limits, and you'll understand why the AI sometimes seems to have the memory of a goldfish.
So here's the real bottom line, the #1 practical tip. Shorter, clearer prompts are your secret weapon. They use fewer tokens, which saves you money and helps avoid those limits. But here's the best part. They very often get you much better, more focused answers from the AI. It's a total win-win.
So now you know the secret. You can see the AI's hidden meter. You know that every single word, every character you type is being counted. So the only question left is, now that you know all this, how are you going to prompt differently?